Hey guys, and welcome back to the Peteytown Piranhas College Football 26 Team Builder Dynasty. In this episode, we're going to be playing Liberty for the Conference USA Championship, and then depending on how that goes, it could hold some excitement for the postseason afterwards, which I'll get into right now. As you can see in this college football playoff bracket, we're the 11th seed currently in a matchup with Ole Miss, but of course after conference championship week this is probably going to shuffle around a little bit. So for right now our focus is beating Liberty, and then hopefully that gets us into this tournament, and if we manage to do that in our second year as a program, I think that would be really impressive. However, that journey to the college football playoff is going to be complicated a little bit. We've been without our right guard, Peter Peterson, for most of the season, and our other right guard, Ben Hickson, for a little bit now. But the big injury we're looking at right now is our halfback, Pete, who got injured in our last game, and it's a broken collarbone, so he would probably be out for the rest of the season no matter what happens after this week. So we're going to be relying on Juju Johnson, who really stepped up in our last game, so hopefully he continue his very good play, and we'll see what we can do. So here we are getting ready to step into the Conference USA Championship game, and a fun thing about this conference is that whoever is in first place during the regular season and makes the Conference Championship game, they get to host it at their stadium. So we'll be playing this game at the Piranha Tank. Unfortunately, with it being the Conference Championship game, they took away our black turf, but it's still at the Piranha Tank, and we are opening this game with a nice tackle for a loss with Pete Mesquite. A couple of tackles for a loss make it 3rd down and 11 for Liberty. They're going to try a play action, and we're going to get in the pressure, and he's going to go down as Nathan Brockermeyer comes in for the sack. And we're going to begin this conference title game with a stop on defense. Big return here for Picky Rahal, and he's going to get us all the way back to their 36-yard line, so nice punt return. Our offense was set up nicely to begin this drive, but they're looking at a 3rd and 5 now. And Pete Manning's going to float it over, and he's going to hit Victor Snow there, and we're going to get the first down. Inside their red zone, we're going to toss it out to Bianca Croning, and the blocks lined up nicely to get another first down. Pete Manning drops back, fires it quickly, and it's in the end zone, but it's a flag, and it's on Liberty, so we are going to open this game with a touchdown after a pass interference. Bianca Croning said, "That doesn't matter, I'm going to make the catch anyway to get us into the end zone." It's an excellent start by the Piranhas to begin this game, and that excellent start's going to continue as we get another tackle for a loss by Petruccio DeLucchio. The defense is really attacking Liberty right now, and it's a 3rd down and 13. They're going to try a floated pass out there, and it's going to be knocked away. Pete Manning's going to drop back, and he is going to be taken down, and it's going to be 3rd down and 13. We come out with trips to the right, and Ray Joseph isolated on the left side. Pete Manning's going to drop back, and he's going to get taken down again by Liberty, who's really bringing the pass rush now. Liberty is going to try a draw play, and this time they got some success with a 7-yard gain. Another handoff up the middle, and we are in the backfield again with Pete Millard making the play. 3rd down and 6 for the Liberty Flames. Are going to go with another handoff, and they do not get the edge as Peter Jack seals it off there. Pete Manning surveys and is going to fire a pass over to Pete Ackler, who leaps and gets us the first down. On an RPO, we're going to get a little slant out there. Looks like Pedro O'Toole. 3rd down and inches. We come in with a heavy shotgun look. And Pete Manning's going to fire a corner route out to Ray Joseph, who secures it at the 29-yard line. We have a 3rd down and 6 for the Piranhas. And Pete Manning's going to fire a nice strike to Ray Joseph there to get it to their 7-yard line. From the 7-yard line, we're going to send Pierre Pete in motion, and we're going to hit him, and they're going to corral him before he can get it across the goal line, but he gets it to the 2-yard line. We're going to hit Pianka Croning, and we got the blocks to get him into the end zone, and he continues his fantastic season, and we are going to continue to take it to Liberty in this game as we go up 2 scores. Liberty's got to try to find a way to fight back in this one, and they're going to try to use their running game, and we are all over it yet again. Liberty had a lot of success in our last game with their running game, but in this game we're just getting them behind the line consistently, and we're going to do it again, this time with Matt Caraway. 3rd down and 15 for Liberty. They're going to hand it off again, and we are in the backfield once again. This defense has just been absolutely firing on all cylinders today. Juju Johnson's going to get a little space to show his speed, but they bring him down before he could get any more. This is a quick strike over to Ray Joseph, who's making some juke moves to get some extra yards at the end of that play. A couple of unsuccessful 1st and 2nd down plays put us on 3rd down and 12. Pete Manning's going to do a big drop back out of the I formation and toss it deep, and it's knocked away by Liberty. We're going to get a 42-yard field goal attempt for Petey Boy, and it is up, and he splits the uprights, and we're going to go up 3 scores in the 2nd quarter on Liberty, 17-0. We're just absolutely loving the effort our defense is putting out there as it's another 3 and out, but we are not loving that sack on 1st down by Liberty as they get us behind the sticks. We're spread out wide here on 2nd down and 16, trying to create some space, and it's going to be a nice toss to Pete Ackler, who makes a juke, and he's going to go all the way down to the 27-yard line on a huge pass play. Very well executed by the Peteytown Piranhas as we really exploited their defensive coverage on that one. A couple of short pass plays bring it to 3rd down and 7 for the Piranhas. Pete Manning drops back and fires, and it can't be hung on to by Victor Snow. Here we're going to get a 41-yard field goal from Petey Boy. He's going to put it up, and it looks good, and he sneaks it in there, and we're going to go up 20-0 on Liberty now. The defensive dominance has continued as we get them off the field on a 3 and out once again, and we are going to hit Pete Ackler on a little out route for a few yards. On the other side of the 2-minute warning, it's a 2nd down and 5. Pete Manning is going to toss it over, and he's got our guy. That's Pedro O'Toole, just on their side of the 50 now. Pete Manning is going to toss it out to Juju Johnson, who makes a nice twirling catch for a 1st down. Pete Manning fires for Pianka Croning, who breaks a tackle, and we are going to get another 1st down. Pianka Croning again on a nice pattern there, and we're going to get it to their 5-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal with a real big chance to get really a big, huge lead on Liberty right now. Pianka Croning's going to get it, but they do cover up our favorite play on that play. Petey Previtt's going to settle for the field goal here. Petey Boy is going to put it up, and he's going to split the uprights to make it a 23-0 deficit heading into halftime. Opening the 2nd half, the Piranhas have not done much on 1st and 2nd down. We're setting up a 3rd down and 9, but he's going to hit Pete Ackler on a nice pattern, and Pete Ackler is going to break away from their defense, and he's going to score the touchdown. That's an 83-yard oh my gosh, I don't know how to say words right now. An 83-yard pitch and catch from Pete Ackler from Pete Manning to Pete Ackler. I've forgotten the English language because I'm just so excited about that play. Just a perfect pass into that window, and he just speeds away from their defensive backs who just did not have the speed to catch up to him. And the Peteytown Piranhas are going to go up by 4 scores here.
There's the handoff.
Handoff to their running back, and he finally gets some space. He gets the block he needs, and that's going to be their biggest play of the game by far. It's 3rd down and 3 for Liberty. We're going to drop back to pass. We're going to get some pressure, and that is Peter Ladagoski getting in for the sack. Nice job by him to set him back after they were getting a little bit momentum. They're going to have to settle for the very long field goal here. And the kick is up, and it is through the uprights. So Liberty finally gets on the board as it's 30-3.
first down thanks to that costly penalty.
Pianka Kroning's got the blocks that he needs, and he's going to get us to the 49-yard line. 3rd down and 4 for the Piranhas. Pete Manning's going to get the throw off, and he's going to hit Victor Snow, who makes a nice snag, even though he was really covered on that one. Bubble screen over to Pete Ackler, who breaks the tackle, jukes out another guy, and he gets a first down, and he's had a huge game today. 3rd down and 4 for the Peteytown Piranhas. And we are going to toss it over to Pete Ackler, who turns the corner and gets into the end zone yet again today. And the Peteytown Piranhas' beatdown of Liberty in the Conference USA Championship has continued. And at this point, I'm just going to let the game play itself out, and I'll see you guys at the end of it. So we were not done with the scoring after that. As you can see, we won 58-3 in the Conference USA Championship, and it was just a dominant front on all sides of the ball for the Peteytown Piranhas. And I'm just extremely proud of this team, and that means that we will be moving on to the next conference after this season. And now we just await to see where the college football playoff bracket has us, and we'll be ready for whatever challenge comes our way with that. So for our stats against Liberty in the Conference USA Championship game, I mean, it doesn't really get more dominant than this, with that 58-3 score, and then 570 yards to 65 yards our defense lit up. 65 total is absolutely insane. We also had 102 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. They had a total of 45 passing yards, and we had 468, which is just mind-boggling. On 3rd down, they were 2 of 13, while we were 8 for 12. And somehow no turnovers on the game. It was just complete dominance on the defensive front for us. Pete Manning was absolutely sensational in this game with 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He was also sacked 3 times, but we'll just let that go. And Pedro Jarvis came in the 4th quarter with the backups and got himself 89 yards and a touchdown. Juju Johnson wasn't as effective in the running game as he was in our previous game with just 13 carries for 33 yards. But Pete A. Caruso came in with the backups and got 6 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, the star of the show was definitely Pete Ackler with 9 catches for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had Pianka Kroning getting 8 for 88 for 2 touchdowns. And then even Pete Capaldi got in on the action with the backups with a 59-yard touchdown. Peter Cottontail led us in tackles with 8, and he also got 2 tackles for a loss. And you can just see that a lot of guys were just all over them in the backfield, getting them behind the line of scrimmage for tackles for a loss. For sacks, we saw Peter Latagoski get a sack, while Spider-Man and Nathan Brockermeyer joined him on the sack party. And Petey Boy was very good today, as he got all 3 of his field goals with a long of 42. In very exciting news, in his first season as a full starter with us, Peter Latagoski set the national single-season sack record, so that's a tremendous accomplishment for our guy, Peter Latagoski. In the Conference USA Championship game, Pete Ackler won the Offensive Player of the Week, so really the player of the game, but just a huge day for him. In recruiting, we got left guard Manuel Guy to help us on the offensive line. And look at that, our guy Petey Previtt won the Bear Bryant Award for Coach of the Year, so congratulations to Petey. Our offensive coordinator, Thomas DeCitro, won the Broyles Award for Coordinator of the Year, and he really helped us reach our max potential on offense this year, so congratulations to him. For the Heisman Trophy, Noah Fafita transferred to USC and got himself the award with a very nice season. For us, of course, Peter Latagoski, with his record-setting performance, got the Defensive End of the Year award. Peter Latagoski also won the Bronco Nagurski Trophy, and I don't believe he's going to be done with awards. For the 2nd year in a row, we got the John Mackey Award with Pianka Kroning. And there's another one for Peter Latagoski as he wins the Lombardi Award. And for the first time in our second season as a program, the Peteytown Piranhas will be in the college football playoff as we are going to travel to Duke. So this is going to be a very exciting matchup for us in our history. Before our matchup with Duke, we're going to look at early National Signing Day and some depth traits from our early signees. So Thomas Caver is our only star dev so far. He's an athlete power rusher, so love to see that. Then our 4-star power rusher, Jake Arkin, is impact, while the 2 cornerbacks we got are also impact. And then everybody else is either normal or impact on this first list of recruits. We're ready now for the first college football playoff game in Peteytown Piranhas history. We're going up against 79 overall Duke, so it's going to be a difficult matchup, especially with it being at their place. So hopefully the Peteytown Piranhas can put forth a nice fight in this one. And it is hype here at Duke for the college football playoff. It's a very nice touch that we have first round matchups at the team's home stadiums. Just make things very exciting. So here comes the Duke Blue Devils with their fireworks going. And I know you're all waiting for the Peteytown Piranhas, and here they are, stepping onto the field for their first college football playoff game. Very exciting times, and here we go. First play of the college football playoff is going to be a long run here by Duke, and they got it out to the 39-yard line. It's going to be a pass here for Duke, and they have absolutely torched our corner out there. Pete Marks just fell behind their receiver, and Duke is really cooking there. Read option for Duke, and they got all the room in the world they need. And they split right up the middle, and they are in the end zone. So it just takes Duke 4 plays to get themselves into the end zone. And after our defense had a spectacular performance in their last game in the conference championship, this time Duke makes a little bit of mincemeat out of us. Pete Manning's going to drop back and fire, and it's going to be Ray Joseph who catches it and gets a little more after the run there. Pete Manning's going to find Juju Johnson, who's got some space this time, and he gets the first down. It's double stack time for the Peteytown Piranhas on 2nd down and 10. Going to drop back and fire it quickly to Ray Joseph, who's got a couple of early catches. Pete Manning fires it short to Juju Johnson, and he's got a lot of green grass in front of him, and he is going to score the touchdown. Juju Johnson making a big impact here on the first drive, and we just found the right play against the right coverage to get him free, and he's going to take it in for the long receiving touchdown to respond after that opening touchdown drive by the Duke Blue Devils. Duke is going to split us right up the middle, and they're going to get a first down. Play action here from Duke. Peter Latagowski is going to come in for the sack, and he's going to add to his record sack total. And he has just been absolutely fantastic this season, and he's going to set up a 3rd and long for Duke. We need to find a way off the field now after that Peter Latagowski sack, and we are going to do just that as we knock it down at the line. Duke gets our offense off the field, so they're going to take over now with just under 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And they're going to get a run up the middle for 4 yards. They're going to hit us with a pop pass, and their guy makes a contested catch despite the hit from Peter Cottontail. Another play action for Duke, and their guy beats us off the line again and gets them a big gain. A couple of runs go nowhere for Duke, and that sets up a 3rd down and 10 to begin the second quarter. And they're going to go with a short screen pass, and we're going to hit them down. Nice tackle there by Pete Mesquite. Our defense came up with a stop on the last drive, but our offense is looking at a 3rd down and 7 here. Duke's crowd going crazy. Pete Manning is going to find Ray Joseph with space to run, and he gets a big play to their side of the 50. Ray Joseph has been active early in this game, and we really needed him to step up here. And we're going to do a stretch play to Juju Johnson. He jukes their guy, and he gets a little extra block there to get him to the 25-yard line. Here in the pistol now, we're going to do a little power-o with Juju, and he's going to get around the edge, and he's going to get it within the 7-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal for the Peteytown Piranhas. We're going to do a handoff to Juju, and he's got nowhere to go. He pushes his way for a little bit extra, but nothing doing. Petey Previtt's going to put it all out on the field right now as we're going for it. And we got Pete Ackler wide open, and he's going to get into the end zone to put us up 14-7. Just an absolutely fantastic job by our guys. And they executed all the way downfield, and Pete Ackler finishes it off. And he's had a really nice stretch lately, and just absolutely loving what he's doing. Duke is going to start their drive with an RPO out to their guy, and he gets it all the way to the 38-yard line. Dropping back, he's going to try to fire a long shot. His guy is open, and they have beaten Peter Ellis and St. Peter over the top. And Duke strikes very quickly on that drive. We just got some momentum, but Duke squashed that with just an absolutely huge play by Qshawn Brown. Wide double stack here for the Peteytown Piranhas. And we're going to go with the handoff, and Juju Johnson's got some space to work with, and he gets it to the 34-yard line. Empty backfield now, and we're going to hit Juju out of that with a 4 or 5 yard gain that gets us to 3rd and inches. And Bianca Croning is going to get the quick fire and get us the 1st down. A couple of unsuccessful plays lead to a 3rd down and 11 for the Peteytown Piranhas. Pete Manning's going to drop back. He's got a little time, and he's going to find Juju Johnson over the middle of the field, and he's been making some nice catches today, and we are going to get a 1st down. Pete Manning's going to fire, and he's got it to our guy, and he could have kept running, but Bianca Croning made sure he had the catch there. On the other side of the 2-minute warning, it's 2nd down and 9 from the 10-yard line. Pete Manning's looking, and he's going to fire, and it's going to be Pedro O'Toole making the catch on the sideline. 3rd down and 2, crowd going crazy. And we are going to hand it to Juju, and they're up to the task, stopping them. Petey Previtt's not going to gamble on this 4th down and 3 call, and we're going to send out Petey Boy. And he's going to doink it off the upright and miss that field goal, so very, very disappointing end to that drive after doing so well to get us down there. Really unfortunate way to end the first half on offense with 2 drives that we could have gotten points on, but just couldn't manage to do it. And Juju Johnson's going to open up the second half with an 8-yard run. 3rd down and 1 for the Piranhas. Pete Manning's all alone in the backfield. He's going to drop back to pass, and the pressure's coming in, and they close in on him, and they're going to force us off the field. Duke is going to get the handoff, and their blocks line up to get them the 1st down. The penalty makes it 2nd down and 17 for Duke. They're going to drop back and try to pick it up through the air, and they are going to do it with a diving catch from their receiver. What a play by him. Another drop back, they hand it and get it short, and they get around our defenders and get it all the way to the 18-yard line. Handoff for Duke. Their blocks line up perfectly, and their running back is going to run it into the end zone, and they're going to take a touchdown lead on us. And I'm going to have to come in and see if I can help our Peteytown Piranhas in the playoff game. Coming out here, I'm going to try to get Pete Ackler free, and we will. I just managed to get rid of the ball, and we're going to get a nice gain with Pete Ackler on the first play. We got Juju Johnson coming out here now for a carry. Blocks lined up okay, but we just get 3 yards out of it. Looking at a little RPO option here. And Juju Johnson's going to cut it up for a 4-yard gain. 3rd down and 3. We're going to go with a little bunch formation here. And they're going to knock it away from our receiver. 4th down and 3. I'm going to go with a little double slant play here. Victor Snow's going to get open, but he's going to drop it. I'm going to come in on defense, see what we can do. And our guy gets absolutely cooked, and Peter Lightning's got to make the tackle. We're going to go with the run, and their blocks lined up pretty well to get them 8 yards. We're going to send in a blitz, and they got the read option on us on a beautiful fake by their quarterback. So now we're in the danger zone here as they're in our red zone. We're going to go with the play action, and they're going to fire it right over our linebacker's head. Going with the run, and they manage to pitch it out, and they're going to get the touchdown. So unfortunate sequence there, not getting anything on my first offensive drive and giving up the touchdown. So here I'm just going to set up the screen to Juju, and he gets around the blocks, and we get the first down. Looking at Bianca Croning and a little RPO play here. We're going to get it over to him, and he manages to fight his way for 8 yards. A little RPO action now. And Juju Johnson's going to get us the first down. Setting up another RPO, this time for Pete Ackler, and he gets us 7 yards. See if we can pick up the second and short with a run. And my blockers are getting in my way, so no chance in that. We're down in 3. I'm going to throw it to Ray Joseph, who is contested. 4th down and 1. Going to try our favorite play here. Hopefully they don't have the defense to contest it. And Pete Ackler's just going to manage to fight his way for the first down. Going with a little play action here on first down. And that's going to get us nothing. Setting up another screen to Juju Johnson. We just managed to get that out, and I messed up when I was trying to run on that one. Let's try a little verts on this play. Ray Joseph's gonna cook. He's gonna get away from their guy, spin his way, and break a tackle for a first down. Time for a little triple slant action. Pete Ackler gets absolutely mauled, and I can't get it to him. That was very unfortunate on that play. Pete Ackler is going to get open this time, and he's going to get us a 14-yard gain to set up a 3rd down and 6. 3rd down and 6 for the Peteytown Piranhas. And I just can't manage to get it off. I was going to have Pete Ackler. 4th down and 6 is not going to be enough, and we're going to get off the field again. Super disappointing end to that drive as we turn it over on downs back to Duke. And of course they're going to get a guy wide open for a first down. And RPO is going to line up perfectly for Duke as they get a big gain there. 3rd down and 4 on a huge play here in this game. They are going to cover up our blitz, and their quarterback is going to run for it, even though I set up a spy, but he got caught up, and we're going to give up the first down. The quarterback's going to take it on the read option, stiff arm our defenders, and get it all the way down to the 4-yard line. And we're going to give up the touchdown. Even though we had outnumbered them, they still managed to get around it. And it's not looking good for your Peteytown Piranhas in this one. Well, that's going to be all she wrote in the Peteytown Piranhas' first college football playoff game. It was a 42-14 blowout with some unfortunate things going my way against me. I decided to step into that second half, and Duke just completely outclassed us and outplayed us in that second half as they beat us in there 28-0 to really secure this game, and just couldn't make anything happen today. So the stats against Duke, they outgained us 479 to 417. They were just dominant running the ball. We couldn't stop them at all as they had 181 yards and 5 touchdowns to our 63. Passing wise, we were okay with 354 to their 298. On 3rd down, we were 7 of 14 while they were 2 for 5. And I had a turnover and garbage time off camera because at that point the game was pretty well in hand, but just one of those where I was audibling, and then when I snapped the ball I double pressed the button and it was the wrong button, so it just kind of floated into their hands. So that was just kind of the day it was. Pete Manning handled himself pretty well, I think, in his first playoff game with 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that one stupid interception that I mentioned. He was also sacked 5 times, so that didn't help. Running-wise, Juju Johnson led the way with 21 carries and 94 yards. Juju Johnson also led us in receiving with 7 catches, 113 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ray Joseph also had 7 catches for 103 yards. And Pete Ackler had 7 catches, 55 yards, and 1 touchdown. Defensively, it wasn't our best showing as Peter Eris led the way with 10 tackles. Peter Latagoski had our only sack in the game. Unfortunately, Petey Boy missed his only field goal attempt of the game. I also wanted to say, going over the stats, that I put the blame for this game entirely on myself. The boys just played their hearts out in the first half, and we were only down 7 when I came in. That's usually when I allow myself to come in, but just one of those games where nothing went right. Just couldn't make anything happen, just defensively just not calling the right things and just making the wrong decisions, and Duke just had execution on plays that was just fantastic by them. And just, look, if you're looking to point the finger at anybody, point it at me. So if you're in the comments section, just say Peter Previtt doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know how to play this game, and it was definitely true in this one. As for how the college football playoff played out, Michigan ended up beating UCLA in the title game. And looking at their paths to it, UCLA had to dominate Duke in the game after us, so that's something. And they also beat Georgia on their way there, so that's pretty impressive. While Michigan had to beat Louisville and Ole Miss to get there. So, pretty interesting way how the playoff unfolded this season. Now we can look at some final season stats for our guys. Pete Manning led the way with 4,253 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, so I think that's a rather impressive stat line for our sophomore. Rushing-wise, Pete led the way before his injury with 201 carries, 1,277 yards, and 12 touchdowns, while Juju Johnson stepped in admirably with 125 carries, 614 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, our leader was Bianca Croning in his award-winning season with 103 catches, 971 yards, and 19 touchdowns. Behind him was Pete Ackler with 93 catches, 954 yards, and 12 touchdowns. And Ray Joseph rounded things out with 67 catches, 922 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Leading the way on defense was Pete Mesquite with 111 tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, and 6 sacks. He also added 8 pass deflections. Behind him was Peter Eris with 103 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, and 1 interception, to go with 4 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble. And the other member of the 100 tackle department was Anthony Kaufman with 100 tackles, 27 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, and 1 interception. And he also contributed 4 pass deflections. For sacks, we already know the guy leading the way there was Peter Latagoski in his record-setting season with 26.5 sacks. And he also contributed 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble recovery. Behind Peter Latagoski for sacks was Peter Jack with 16, so he put a nice career together for us, and he also had 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble recovery. Peter Cottontail led us with 2 interceptions on the season, and he also contributed 99 tackles, 13 tackles for a loss, and 3 sacks. For kicking, Petey Boy made 17 of 23, and he had a long of 47. Looking at the players leaving stage, not a lot of guys wanted to transfer from our program, so that's good, but among the guys who are transferring will be Pedro Jarvis and Pete Marks, which is a big loss, but we also knew that was probably going to happen given his deal breaker. And then Pete Dinklage is going to say goodbye to the program, and we'll miss him. And Pete Scasia will also be saying goodbye. But we did get Pito Pita back, so just to have a little quarterback depth is good. And then the emotional part is saying goodbye to some of our seniors. So we're going to say goodbye to Ray Joseph and Victor Snow, who are transfers who made a nice impact for us this season. Unfortunately, Pete got injured the last few games he was with us, but of course he was a tremendous halfback for us in our first 2 years. Pedro Toole's another notable guy graduating this season. Peter Falk and Peter Cottontail and Peter Peterson are other guys who are graduating, as well as cornerback Peter Lightning and Peter Pumpkin Eater, and our guy Pete Mesquite, who was excellent in a slot role for us. Who can forget Pierre Pete winning the John Mackey Award with us before very selflessly giving up his starting role to Bianca Croning, but Pierre Pete was just wonderful for us in that first year. Petey McGee got in on some sacks, so we're saying goodbye to him. And Pete Millark was a starter this year, so long to him. And that's pretty much it for guys who made notable impacts for the team, so very bittersweet moment for us. So we've gotten the first draft picks in Peteytown Piranhas history. Ray Joseph went in the 3rd round, and Victor Snow went in the 7th round. We also have some nice news on the program itself, as we've upgraded from a 1.5-star school to a 2.5-star school, so love to see that. And since we won the Conference USA Championship, we're going to be moving up a conference, so for next season we're going to be joining the Sun Belt Conference. So we're setting up our transfer board now, and we got a bunch of guys we're looking at, but the main highlight for this is Jamari DeLoach at cornerback. He is a transfer sophomore, and he's in a pipeline for us, and I like him because he's got 94 speed and 98 acceleration, along with good coverage skills, but the problem is that we're currently 9th on his board with a lot of guys in front of us, so we'll see if putting the 50 points on him makes any difference for this battle, so hopefully it does, but we'll see where we go with it. After the first week of the transfer portal, we're getting left guard Denzel Lampkin. More recruits are coming in after week 2. We got Eric Kennedy, who's a gem halfback that we were trailing for a long time, and we were able to wrestle him away from another team in a recruiting battle. We also got tight end Kyrie Toon, who's a vertical threat. Following them is Mike linebacker Greg Forsett, and another Mike linebacker is joining the squad with Nick Scasia. Heading into the final week of the transfer portal, we got Will linebacker Nate Haslam. We also got another Will linebacker with Kenyon Cribbs. Unfortunately, we were locked out for Jamari DeLoach, the cornerback that I highlighted, so we're going to have to go in a different direction. So the transfer window is over, and we got a 4-star defensive tackle, Jordan Crawford, to try to beef up our defensive line. So after going through all our dev traits at the end of the transfer portal, the only star dev we have is Thomas Caver, and everybody else in the class is either impact or normal dev, so that's 30 other recruits, so, we got a lot of depth now, but not a lot of high-end talent, but hopefully some of those impact guys can go above and beyond where they're at right now. And with those 31 recruits, we put together the 35th best class in the country, with 2 4-stars and 29 3-stars. Entering our training results phase now, Pete Manning had 48 points to work with, and we got him from an 84 to an 89 overall, and we got his main accuracies all at least a 90, and we also boosted his awareness up to 80, but the real changes we made were in his abilities. So we got resistance, step up, and dot all to silver, and we got his on-time ability up to gold, so really looking forward to what Pete Manning can do in a follow-up after his really great season last season. For Juju Johnson, we got his speed up to 94 and his elusiveness up a tick. And then for his abilities, we put his shifty at silver. For Pete A. Caruso, his speed is now up to 93, and we also got his shifty to bronze, and his sidestep up to gold. So he's got gold in sidestep and 360, so we're looking to see him making some moves out there. Transfer wide receiver got all his route running abilities above a 90. And for his abilities, we got him to gold cutter. Being careful with our guy Pete Ackler with his B proximity to home, we really got his speed up, and he's blazing now with 96 speed and 98 acceleration. And we also worked on his hands. As for abilities, we got him to silver cutter. Heading into his senior season, Picky Rahal received a nice 10 overall boost to 79. We got his speed up to 93 and acceleration to 97. We also worked on his hands and route running, and we got him to silver takeoff. Our John Mackey Award winner, Bianca Croning, got a nice boost to his speed to 85, and also a little blocking and a little bit of hands and a little route running, so a little bit of an overall boost to Bianca. Moving to defense, we got Peter Latagoski, our award-winning guy, to max out his power moves, and they are at a 97. And we also worked on his run stopping, and we got his pocket disruptor up to silver. Mike linebacker Anthony Kaufman took a really nice step forward to 81 overall, and we did that by getting up his IQ, and his pass coverage is now 94 zone coverage, so really looking for him to make an impact in the passing game. Peter Eris is turning into a nice weapon for us with his zone coverage up to 90, and we put up his man coverage to get that change of direction boost for the robber ability. And speaking of those abilities, we got his house call to platinum and robber to bronze. So one last thing we got to do after training results is to move our conference, because we won our Conference USA Championship. So here we are in the Sun Belt Conference, and hopefully we can win this one in the first year we're here as well. That'll be it for this episode, and that officially ends year 2 of the Peteytown Piranhas. I think it was a successful year despite that disappointing ending in the college football playoff. We went 13-1 and, won our conference championship yet again, and I'm just feeling good about the team moving up a conference, and so that'll do it for that. In the next episode, we'll get into how we're doing with recruiting in year 3. We'll meet the rest of the team and how they're looking to set up year 3, and we're going to go from there. I'll see you guys in the next video.